Now live, Nick.
Are we live?
We're live.
Okay. Hi everybody, it's Nick Watchman here from LMPG. I am sorry to interrupt your football. We're not going to have as many on it as we normally get over 30, 39 to 80. Today we'll be lucky to hit 30 because that's because of football. We'll find out at 9:30, Ben, who we're playing. Who do you think the money's on? Portugal or Germany?
We're going to play Germany. I mean, ideally, if Hungary beat Germany and finish second, but it's not going to happen.
Optimist.
Okay, so, oh dear me, what a day it's been today. Is it raining or sunshining? We've had it all today. So, one of the things that we've been talking for the last, before I start, I always forget, because we're doing GDPR and we're recording it. If you don't want to be recorded, can you please leave now? Because I always get told off if I don't say it. So we've been working with juicers now for 18 months. And one of the things that we've said to ask juicers, could they introduce us to CTD, which is their kind of arm of tiles. So they have done, and we've now been negotiating with Chris and CTD, which have got over, is it 80 stores, 90 stores now nationwide?
89 at the last count, yeah.
Okay, I was one out. And again, he's going to be talking to you about the kind of deal that he's putting together for LMPG members. I have seen this presentation. Normally I don't see it, but I was so interested. And we're nearly at the line where we're going to be signing a contract with yourselves, Chris. We've got two issues to deal with, and I think we dealt with both of those today, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we're more or less there, but yeah.
I lost one and I won one, so it was a draw.
Scotland would have taken that, I think, wouldn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I lost one and I won one, so it's about compromise. And I've seen some of the prices and I got kind of really excited about it. Because the idea is we wanted to have a really good, strong multi-panel, kind of offering, which we've got, but also we want to have the same kind of offering that we had with BCT. That BCT deal offering that we did have was really going in the right direction. It was exciting. We had lots and lots of tiles, and then they went bust. And it wasn't because of us, before anybody says it. So it's about getting the right deal, putting the scheme together to offer members an easy access. And we've also, I won't say her name, she's actually our account manager that's going to be looking after. She's just grinned. Yes.
Yes, me.
She's going to be our account manager, and she's the one who's going to be looking after us. But I'm really excited about what Chris and CTD have put together for us. Now, it is on a lot of tiles, an awful lot of tiles. There are certain tiles, and Trevor, who's listening to this, is not going to be happy with me, is about some of the ceramics are outside the scheme, okay? And Chris will explain why they're outside the scheme, because the offering on it is just ridiculous. So
Porcelain, not ceramic, Nick.
Sorry?
Porcelain's not.
Oh, porcelain. Sorry, porcelain. So, Chris, if you would like to take over and introduce yourself and introduce Sophie, that would be really good. Thank you.
Absolutely. No, thanks, Nick, and thanks, Anthony. Yes, so I'm Chris Lawrence. I'm the regional sales manager for CTD. So I look after our contracts division and our key accounts. So residential, developers, landlords, all that side of things. Stephanie works as our business development supervisor and also looks after some of the key accounts. So she'll be looking after the LMPG account as a single point of contact. I've got a presentation to run through, which hopefully sort of will hold your attention. I assure you, I've budgeted to finish sort of on time at 7:45. I know everyone's desperate to go and watch the big match. So Steph's also here in the capacity of hurrying me along if I'm waffling a bit. So we shouldn't have any problems there. I'll share my screen so we can sort of start to have a look at this. There we go. So hopefully everybody's got that up on the screen now.
Mm-hmm.
Good. So we want to run through. I mean, everyone's interested in looking at the tiles, looking at the prices, you know, and absolutely we're going to come to that. I think in the beginning though, I did want to just spend a little bit of time introducing CTD as a business. Some of you may be aware of us. A lot of you probably aren't. We have a joke in CTD that we're probably one of the biggest companies that people haven't heard of. Very well known tile fixers, but you know, we want to make sure everyone's kind of au fait with what we do and who we are. So I'm going to talk through that a little bit, talk about our service offer as well, everything we do beyond just, you know, selling good tiles at good prices. And then we're going to have a look at the tiles themselves, so talk through some of the ranges, touch on some of the trends and some of the sort of things that are hot at the moment in the market, because it is a sort of fashion product. And then we'll run, obviously the questions coming in, we'll field as and when they come in, or if you've got some time at the end, we'll answer any individual questions as best we can. So hopefully that sounds okay to everybody. So if you're happy for me to, yeah, okay. So I'll just run through a little bit of CTD, ceramic tile distributors. That stands for, just so everybody knows, just so you know who we are. As Nick sort of mentioned, the key link up as far as LMPG came was originally through Jewson. Obviously, successful partnership with LMPG for a while now. We're actually a sister company of theirs, part of the Saint-Gobain group. So we actually, within Saint-Gobain, we actually comprise the largest tile purchasing group in the world. So, you know, we have a number of businesses in a number of different countries. So as Saint-Gobain, obviously CTD is the UK business. And we've been part of Saint-Gobain for about 15, 20 years now. So it's a long history. The company grew out of Newcastle. If you've heard much of Steph talking, you probably recognise that she did exactly the same thing. Grew out of Newcastle and kind of just slowly sort of seeped south and north and east and west, and got to where we are now, which is a national company, truly national, servicing all the UK, servicing Wales, servicing Scotland, servicing England, all the corners of the country we get into. We have customers in, we have projects that we supply.
Northern Ireland?
Northern Ireland, we don't through CTD. Saint-Gobain have businesses in that part of it, but we stick to the mainland, I suppose you would say.
Okay.
You can see there, I've put a bit about the CTD family, which maybe some names there that people recognise. World's End Tiles down in Battersea, Tile Depot down south. Some of these are more regional, but these are all companies that have over the years kind of come and been subsumed within the larger CTD group. So it's we service everything. We service contracts, residential, architectural, commercial as well. We have a separate arm dealing with that, and retail. So it's a big old operation. So you're in good hands. And again, we'll come to the prices, we'll come to the ranges, all of that. But I do think, particularly at the moment, with a lot of the pressures on us all, sort of in construction and property, I think it's important to talk about some of the other things that CTD do and the whole offer in its totality. So I've kind of separated it three sort of key areas where I think we offer really, really good value for LMPG and your members. So stock is the main one, which has traditionally been our strong point. So we keep unlike some companies who sort of advertise a product and then sort of bring it in, source it in from the factory as and when required. We actually keep a huge amount of stock on the ground, set across 4 different hubs in Kings Norton, Birmingham, Denton, Manchester, Glasgow and Newcastle. And then those hubs kind of service the satellite branches, of which there are currently 89. So it's a huge, roughly 13 million pounds worth of stock just on the ground, and accessories as well. So it's a massive stock offering, and that's kind of where we pitch ourselves. We've got the product in stock. We've got it there. We don't. If there are hold-ups on site, it's not because of us.
Are you saying you have no stock issues at the moment then?
It's I wouldn't be so brave as to say that. I always say we're, you know, you'd appreciate you always like the duck on the water, aren't you? You know, you calm on the surface and kick it away like mad underneath. What we do is we manage it. We manage it well. We have a lot of, there's a few things here which I was going to lead on to really. So we have a mix of, we have a few things we do that kind of insulate us from some of the other sort of stock issues that we've been seeing on some of the other construction products. So firstly, we have a mixture of supply sources. So we are a distributor. We don't produce the product. So we're not tied to one territory or one market or one supplier even. So, you know, we like to sort of, obviously we have some suppliers we do more with, some suppliers we do less with, but we have a good mix there. So we're not kind of throwing all our eggs in one basket. We have the space simply, so we have a lot of facilities in terms of units and warehouse space to store the product, and we do a lot of work with our purchasing department. To be fair, does a great job the vast majority of the time with analysing sort of what's going out, what's coming in, sort of managing the supply chain. And I think that there's a point to make there as well for members, because one of the ways that we manage our stock, Nick, is we prioritise stock for priority customers. So if there is a difficulty with a particular line, we'll restrict access to that line to the general public, you know, retail people walking in, buying in showrooms off the streets. So one of the things members get as LMPG is obviously you have status as one of those priority customers. So again, in terms of accessing stock, we'll, you know, it'd be a braver man than me to put my hand on my heart and say we're never going to have any stock issues, because you know the world that we're in currently. But
no, Chris, you just did.
Yeah.
One of the things is to make really quite clear is that if you've got tiles and the branch say they're running short, what you need to do is you need to order through Stephanie. Yes, because Stephanie has got the prices.
Yes,
she knows where the stock is.
Yeah.
So you can go to the stores, but you do not buy through the stores, because Stephanie organises that all for you. Because branches do charge, yes, and we come on to charges for delivery. Steph won't, yes, as long as it's above a certain level, and it's not a massive amount. Yep. So one of the things is we'll talk about that in a little while, but you must put your orders through Steph.
Yeah, correct.
That's really, really important.
Yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely. No, it's a really great point, because Steph has visibility of everything nationally, and you know, a branch will sort of look at their area and look at what's maybe in their local hub, whereas Steph, and you know, she's done this for me plenty of times. She will scour the country, and you know, if we need to get something in from the others, you know, from the back of beyond, then we'll do it. Like, you know, so yeah, absolutely, Steph's essential.
You're going to come on to like servicing, yes. So if I rang Steph today and I wanted, I don't know, 100 meters, yeah, whatever, I put the order, pay you, Steph, and then how long will it take you to get that tile to me? Them tiles to me?
if you wanted to deliver to a branch, we deliver to each branch every couple of days, or if it's going to a postcode, it will be on our next available delivery, which, to be fair, normally it's about every other day, every 2 days we'll go to the same postcode. So, you know, you wouldn't be waiting like long for your delivery.
Okay.
And even if the tiles say, for example, they're up in Glasgow and you need them in London, we've got that transport to get them from Glasgow down to London. Do you know what I mean? On our internal transport. So, you know, if they've got stock and we don't, we can get it for you. So we'll always look at every other branch, you know, and check suppliers and everything like that. So.
Okay, thank you.
Generally speaking, yeah, it's a good point with delivery. We generally speaking, you know, a couple of days for delivery. We always say it's like everything, as much notice as possible just takes the stress off of everyone. But you know, in the real world, things happen.
Absolutely. I mean, some things we want delivered and some things we need to wait like 6 weeks. That's what the point I was trying to get to. There's 3 or 4 days wait for tiles. If you see a tile you like in the stores or whatever, we'll come on to that in a second though, about getting tiles, not getting tiles, but samples or looking in stores. The point I'm trying to make is you ring Steph to put the order in.
Yeah, but also if you know, like even if you see a tile that you like, and say if it's not going to be getting used for a month and we've got stock, we can put that on hold for you as well as being a member, like part of like LMBG. We can do that. We can put that on hold until you need it as well. So, you know, if you're interested in say 10 square meters of a tile, but we can put that on hold for you until you need that.
How long is this down hold for?
Well, to be honest,
I
it
think we would
definitely
just keep in contact with you. We would keep in contact with them like on a weekly basis, and just, you know, just keep in contact with that client. Just, and then if they say we don't need it, that's fine. It can go back into like general stock. But it's always good as well, like to keep that just in case you need it.
Okay.
Thanks, Steph. So stock is, as I say, our target is, you know, 98% stock availability at all times on our stock product, obviously. So you know, we'll, like I say, it is hard work at the minute with the way the market is. But I think if you spoke to, and I was in with one of our larger national house builder clients actually the other week, and they turned around and they said to us, you guys have not let us down on stock, you know, and almost everybody else has, and so it is a, you know,
That rope's getting tighter around your neck, Chris.
No, but I've got to, you know, I've got to shout about the things we do well. Yes, of course I'm setting myself up for a fall. Of course I am. But you know,
You wait till Trevor puts in an order for 250 square meters of porcelain tiles, and you say you haven't got them. Good luck.
I'm going to move quickly on then from stock. We'll talk about product. So we're going to come on in a minute to look at the product now. This was kind of one of the challenges, I suppose, is it was trying to, because if anyone's ever been in a CTD showroom, you know, you'll appreciate that we have tons and tons of tiles. I mean, you can see them on the rackings there and all the rest of it, but there's absolutely less. So the challenge, I suppose, for us was how do we put in a package for members that makes sense, that's relevant, that's tailored to people's needs, that's right for the market and right for the, you know, the moment, whilst also not restricting access to the other products. So, you know, there is discount across the other products as well. But what we have done is pulled together a core package, which we think kind of ticks most of the boxes. Of course, there's always going to be, you know, some project somewhere that requires something a little bit off the wall, but we think the core range we've got will kind of be right for 80% of applications. So we'll go through that in a minute. So but it's just to explain really that's the reason why the package is as it is. So we've kind of tailored it for the market, on trend product, which, you know, wood effects, encaustic, lots of grey. It is still on trend. I know everyone asks me, is it still grey in season? But yeah, it's still it's still grey season in tiling for the moment. Practical as well. This is something that gets overlooked when people, you know, people get focused on the aesthetics of the tiles, but it's got to be practical as well. So we try to choose ranges that are easy to install, ceramic on the walls, porcelain on the floors. I've seen people putting ceramic on the floors, porcelain on the walls and things, and it's you know, it has its own challenges. And also the technical properties. So we don't, you know, some of these sort of very, very high grade slip rating tiles, we wouldn't, you know, we wouldn't necessarily put into a core package to go on the wall or something, because it's, you know, you're potentially going to get cleaning issues. So we think about all that stuff as well. All sorts of applications. So there's smaller format for the kitchens. There's outdoor porcelain, which we'll come on to. Obviously bathroom sort of field tiles, larger format as well. So there's a real good mix in there. Contract pricing, of course, which we'll come on to next. My favourite word,
contract pricing.
we get in there, trust me.
We're nearly there, because I think Nick wants to look at this, don't you, Nick?
I want to look at the damn
You want to
tile.
look at it?
This is called generating anticipation, you see.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you do need to hurry me along, Steph, if I'm taking too long.
Yes.
So there's branded as well. So what we have started doing in the last sort of 18 months is partnering with Villeroy and Boch, who obviously are, you know, really well known sort of household brands. So you'll see some of their ranges in as well, which hopefully you'll agree are lovely, as all the others, to be honest. And then service we've kind of touched on really. So delivery generally minimum twice a week in 20 postcode areas. Central sales office, obviously Steph as a central point of contact. I think it is worth highlighting, although we want the orders to go through Steph centrally and inquiries to go through the central office, the branch network is a real plus as well for members, because I think with 89 scattered across the country, you generally find that you're probably not very far away at all from a local showroom. So, you know, if it's an emergency, we need to pick something up or have something, we'll talk about minimum order quantities, but if they're later, but if there's if somebody needs a box of tiles, drop it into a local branch or something, we can do that on the internal run. So there's a lot to tap into there through the network.
That's a good idea, Chris. That's really good, because the amount of times when we were BCT, that people would be like a meter wrong, and they wanted like within 2 days, and BCT could do that. And you're telling me that they can drop it off at the local branch, and then
and then that gets you around. You don't have to worry about delivery charges, X, Y, Z. And many of the branches get overnight drops, so many of them being serviced kind of every single day. If not, it's sort of 3 times a week. So, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So yeah, it is really helpful, because you always get that with tiles, and it's the bane of everyone's life is that last box that you're just short. So we appreciate that. And then the supply chain, which we'll come on to, I've sort of mentioned that there because we partner with a lot of the top brands for the sundries and accessories. This may not be of great interest to people. People may more interested in the tiles, but I think it's important to mention, because you're going to get queries as well. You know, I'm sure people are going to have queries. Well, you know, what adhesive do I use for this application? I've got an anhydride screed. You know, what do I need to do? You know, do I need to do any special prep work? You know, if you got something in writing, you can send across. We can, through our partnerships with the likes of Weber, with the likes of Bal, with the likes of Ardex, Jackaboard, Mapei, you know, we have access to all of this industry expertise, which becomes sort of available to you as well. Lithofin as well, which
one of the big things, Chris, I know I've mentioned to you before, is that if you could do a paper on how to reduce mold in grout and in shower cubicles, etc., that would be really, really good.
Well, definitely, we'll look at that. And one of the things we've got Lithofin doing for us at the moment, actually, because these guys, Lithofin, are the kind of tile cleaning professionals. We're getting them to produce videos as well on some of their core products and cleaning solutions, and things like cement residue that you always get it where people haven't quite washed off properly and they've got bits of cement left on the tile and can't get it off, and, you know, scrubbing their hand bare trying to get it off. It's a simple solution, but it's got to be applied properly. It's got to follow the proper methodology. So that's something as well that, you know, Lithofin, we're driving them to do for us as well, and we tap into that. So it's a really, it's a really good package. You know, it's like I say, I think you're in good hands overall. So Nick, you'll be pleased to know that that's me sort of done talking about the boring business and logistics side of it. So
did I say anything? Just get him on the damn tiles.
You've got expressive eyes. You've got expressive eyes. You don't have to say anything. So this is so before we launch into the tiles, it's not. I want it to make sense to people kind of how we've done this. So there's a core collection, which is sort of which I've kind of placed at the front, which is kind of your affordable kind of budget end stuff. So, you know, your bevel brick metros, your 6-inch tiles, your colorways, your 300 by 200 sort of, you know, smaller format stuff. So that's on there. That's on there, and the LMPG member pricing goes up to £10 a metre. These are all ex-VAT prices as well, just in case there's any confusion there. I put a star next to that because I think there's annoyingly one tile that goes above £10 a metre, which is the black 6-inch square one, because for some reason the black dye just costs the earth. I don't know where they get it from, but some rare octopus or something. But it's a little bit more expensive. So overall, the core collection is up to £10 a metre. There's a couple of floor options in there as well, which we can look at. So that's kind of your starting point. We'll then go into look at sort of, we've tried to categorize this and band it more or less by size, so it makes sense to people. So your 400 by 250s V&B wall at £11.95 a metre, then up to your 500 by 250s, which is sort of a slightly larger size. reflected in the price. Still only £12.95 a metre, and then modern wall, which is 600 for 300, up to 900 for 300, 15.25. So we're going to see a lot of tiles in a minute, and we are, yeah. We're all going to, they're all going to be within 15.25 a metre. So which is cracking really. There's floor tiles to go with them, which have their own prices. They're a little bit more erratic, but generally between £14.95 and £22.95. And that's a key part of the offer as well, to be honest, is we try to present ranges with a wall and floor option, because we've had in the past, I know there's been, some of the suppliers we've worked with, I mean, Johnson Tiles in particular used to have a lot of ranges where there was a wall tile, but not a matching floor, which is always a frustration for us as much as anything, when people were saying, "Oh, that's lovely. What goes with it on the floor?" Well, nothing. So
you have.
Yeah, we have. Yeah. So our ranges are, you'll see in a minute, you've got wall and floor, matches up. Don't get me wrong, you can be creative. You can mix and match as you like. Call me old fashioned, but I tend to stick to the approved range. But yeah, it's there if people want it. So stylish floor, which is another banding, which is just some interesting floor tiles. You'll see there's some lovely stuff in there, including wood effect, which I think is worth talking about, and small format, which is kind of coming back. Outdoor porcelain, which we'll come on to, I'm sure, slightly later. And then this is your core package. Now at the bottom there, you'll notice I've put a discount level on everything else. So what we wanted to try and do for members is make sure that, obviously, we think a lot of people are going to choose from this core package, but if you walk into a showroom and choose something that's not in the package, we don't want you to be reverted back to list price. So there is actually, for all NMPG members, a discount less %.
Can we get to the tiles?
We're going next.
Get down.
Here we are. We're not doing too bad. We're half an hour in. So these aren't the most exciting tiles, Nick, but we're building up to them. So we're starting off on the core, on the sort of, the basic range is the affordable. So all this stuff is kind of within the £10 a metre bracket, apart from, as I say, that black one. Speaks for itself, not really worth dwelling on, but it's, it's a utility product. And this one I think is probably, it's probably quite relevant to a lot of people. It's still very, very popular. Some people, it's a bit like Marmite, some love it, some hate it, but it still gets a lot of
that's a good price. Yep.
Yeah, it's a good tile. We had to really sort of shop around them with the manufacturers as well, to get that price. But it's a nice tile as well. It's a white biscuit. So sometimes you get these cheaper tiles, but they're, there's a reason they're cheaper. But it's a nice quality tile as well. And at that price,
and you've got 4 colours there. Yeah.
4 colours. Yeah, 4 colours there. The caveat on there again, the black is slightly more. So the black is £1 a metre more. Again, it's just for being black. Most people don't, for obvious reasons, don't really go for black tiles everywhere, because it can be a bit, I think with the year we've had it, it can just be a bit unnecessarily depressing, but but it's, it's there as an option.
Okay.
So still within this up to £10 a metre range, we wanted to bring in some, we found when it came to sort of affordable budget end tiling, everyone went with whites and sort of, just very basic stuff. So we wanted to bring in a bit of colour as well for people who wanted something a bit, a bit more decorative, but still within that budget. So Dolomite is a gloss, Dorset is a matte, 300 for 200.
And these are all £10 a square metre?
Yeah, these are less than £10 a square metre, yeah. So, yeah.
For LMPG members, yes?
To LMPG members,
yeah.
So again, it's a nice, if you want an affordable price product, but you want a bit of a pattern to it, then it's there. So yeah, I think there's a couple more things just to point out. I've taken some things out of this brochure because we thought we'd be here all day if we were going through everything.
Yeah,
so I've just
me and Anthony had a massive argument about this, and he came up. There must have been 60 slides, so we said you got to get rid of some of them. Okay, but there is a whole brochure that's going to be up on our website really, really soon once we do the deal. Yes, and that'll have all these pictures in, all the tiles, etc., etc. I am correct in saying that, Anthony?
Yes, of course. It's not only going to be up on our website, Nick, it's going to be up on the new website. but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So yeah, Chris is going through the core range, some of the important products. If you want to look through absolutely everything, feel free. You'll have that ability to do so on the NMPG website.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So now we come into the sort of, you know, what we call the home collection, which is the sort of starting at the 400 to 250, slightly larger stuff. Ceramic walls, porcelain floors. So we start off with this range here, which is just which is called our Villeroy box standard range, £11.95 a metre. Nice mixes of, you've got a split face decor there, again matching walls and floors, linear decor, all 400 by 250, all the same price. That's very popular, that one, Ken. Matching walls and floors again. And Fairford, which is, you know, which is a similar thing again. We actually go with the contrasting floor tile on there just to we thought if it was all anthracite it might be a bit much, but that works quite well as a contrast sometimes. It's a bit of a design feature. Castle turn again, these are all in the same price band at £11.95. A bit of patination to it. You find now with tiles there's a increasingly we're moving away from kind of monochromatic tiles, and there's a lot of pattern variation. It's worth bearing in mind, and that's why if you'll notice there the brochure, we note if you can see that very small table at the bottom, there's a slide for V rating. I don't know if anyone can see that.
Just about V3.
It's got product. Yes, V3. What does that mean? Yeah, this is something that's we found we've had to give V ratings just to kind of help people understand the patination. What it refers to is the variance rating. So basically the level of patination within a tile. So if you had a plain white tile, that's going to be a V0 because it's exactly the same throughout. So if you so a V4 by contrast, which is the highest on the scale, will have a lot of patterning, a lot of variation throughout. So I think if I go back, this one here, Ken, for example, it's got that kind of mottled industrial sort of look. It's a lot of variance across the tile. So that's a V4. So it's just to help people understand how much variance they're going to get in the tiles, because what you don't really see now is, in the old days they used to use the old roller presses. Everything would look, you'd have a room tiled with exactly the same tile 50 times, if you know what I mean. Nowadays they take a very large image of a piece of rock or whatever it is, and they take a small clip of that, and that's one tile, and then they move the cameras, move the sort of lens, as it were, across and take another and they do that. And so what you end up with is tiles where, generally speaking, you won't get one repetition in 200, for example. So a lot of variance. So yeah, that's just something we found helpful for people to understand, how much sort of patination variance they're going to get. It's worth noting.
It's gone up before, actually, because a member, believe it or not, I believe a member tried to colour match a tile, but it was like a V4 tile. So they said, we can match it, but what colour? Because there's so many hues within that singular tile. But yeah, good to know.
I think it's great because it makes shade matching easier, actually, because the hardest tiles to shade match, because obviously shading is something inherent in tiles, because the batches are all made at different times. Slight changes in temperature or anything in the atmosphere when the tiles are produced can just produce a slightly different. It's made with natural products, so clays and all the rest of it, so it'll produce a slightly different shade. The hardest ones to shade match are white tiles, because if there's any slight variance, it just looks like chalk and cheese. Whereas when you've got a lot of pattern in the tile, like you said, Anthony, it actually makes it easier to match, because you're not, your eye's not kind of zeroing in on the small kind of color differences. So no, it's a point worth noting. So we're still in the 11.95, and just the final one in the range, which is Arch, which is a nice marble gloss effect, probably one of our most popular tiles, period. Really sells phenomenally. Again, at that price, it's you can't go wrong really with that one. So that's the intro range. So then we step up to the elegant, still just £12.95. We've got a
Chris, just to clarify, while we've got a bit of room there, these prices ex VAT, right?
They are all ex-VAT, yeah. So anytime I'm talking prices, it's ex-VAT, yeah.
I expect
yeah,
as much. Brilliant.
Yeah, no, that's important to note. So again, they're Cliveden with a hexagonal decor, matching walls and floors. Again, all ceramic on the walls, all porcelain on the floors. You know, we just find it works better. The porcelain's more durable, hard wearing for the floors. The ceramic's much easier to install on the walls.
So are you saying the floors are £12 porcelain floors?
No, the floors have their own pricing structure, so it's slightly different because it's porcelain tiles. So porcelains are slightly different structure. So those ones for the Cliveden are £17.95, which, you know, for a 500 porcelain floor tile is still, you know, it's still bob on. But yeah, when we do the price, we're talking about the walls. To be honest, you know, the walls are the thing that people tend to sort of benchmark things against. So Porcelain, again, still in that £12.95 range. You've got a nice split face effect tile here, squares if that's your bag. A couple of nice lighter colours. And yeah, there was another one in that range, but I've popped that out. So yeah, there's a couple more as well. Like I say, this isn't everything, but this is just some of the highlights. And then we're up into modern, which again is £15.25. So, you know, we're up to 600, 300 now, which is kind of the, you know, the nice, you know, quality, you know, real nice looking size, really. You know, it's and again, it's a similar thing, plain decor, field, which is the, you know, the floor tile, bit of gloss option, Calicut, always again, a bit like Marmite. Some people love it, some people are fed up with it, but it's a classic. You'll notice with these ranges as well, there's an emphasis on being quite neutral, quite inoffensive. You know, when it comes to the fact, it's whether it's developers, whether it's landlords, you know, a lot of the time you're, you know, if you're doing something up to rent or to sell or whatever, you know, neutrality is often the watchword. So, you know, we want to make sure we're not putting anything in there that's too off the wall, and also anything that's going to age very quickly. So these are not ranges that you're going to turn around in a couple of years and say, my God, you know, what were we thinking, sort of thing, you know. So I think that's something we've tried to emphasize as well. So again, Villa and Bock, nice linear decor and plain and matching floor. Cayman, which I really like, just done a property in Cornwall. Actually, we've used that kind of sandy, sort of beachy effect. So yeah, this is one of my personal favourites. And then jumping up to a larger format, again, that price hasn't changed. We're still in the 15.25 banding. So these are now 900 by 300 walls. This is a gloss, interesting decor, nice 600 by 600 floor tile to match, matte, and B&W black and white star, which is a similar thing, again, just in that larger format. Larger format is, you know, it is one of the trends. People looking to go bigger. It really depends on the room. Really, it really depends on how much space you've got. Obviously, it can dwarf a smaller room, but where you have got the space to warrant it, it's certainly something worth considering. So we've just, I don't know if you were counting, Nick, but we've just been through a lot of tiles, and I've taken out a lot as well, and we're still everything under £15.25 a metre.
No, I'm really pleased. I've never seen anybody talk about tiles like you do.
Yeah, well, I'll choose to interpret that in a positive way.
No, I wasn't being rude. I was trying not to be rude.
No, I am. Yeah, it's
well, I'm enjoying this.
I spend a lot of time talking about tiles, so yeah, it is one of my passions. But no, so that really is everything up to there. Like I said, I'm just going to, you know, I'm skipping back just to kind of emphasise really, but everything we've run through there up to that point, all within £15.25 a metre. So you know, I think there's a multitude of options there that people can.
But there's more. There's more in the brochure at £15 a square metre.
Yep.
Yes, you've highlighted just some of them. So don't think there's going to be this. The ones that you're showing, there were loads. We couldn't take them out. We would have been here until 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we had, and I think, like you say, we had about 60. I think Nick wanted to get it down to about 6, and then and we sort of settled on about.
No. Anthony wanted to get it down to 6. I wanted it 4.
That was it. Yeah. No, but no, it's a good choice. And as well, one thing I'd say about this range as well is, we don't want it to be a stationary object. So it gets reviewed regularly. Tiles are, they're a fashion product. Things, new things come out that we think, hey, that would be nice. So we're going to be reviewing this. So it's not something that's just going to go on the website and sit there for 4 years and never change. We want to make sure we're adding to it, updating it, keeping it relevant, and also listening to feedback. So if members sort of think, well, actually, I think we could really benefit from X, Y, Z in the range, or there's not, we're a bit light on this or whatever. We're happy to look at that. That's how, when we go out and source products, how do we do that? We base it on what the market wants, So
Chris, you can put your telephone number up on screen later, and they'll all ring you, because otherwise they're ringing Steph. Good luck, Steph.
Thanks.
It's
We're looking forward to it.
We'll be fine to handle it. I've highlighted a few other ranges then that I just think are worth talking about. Just before we sort of move towards the conclusion. So core here is which comes under the stylish floor banding, 600 by 300 and 600 by 600, 1495 a meter, and that is it's a phenomenal tile because it's got a good slip rating. It's all singing or dancing really. We've done some nice projects. Done a nice project with. Sorry.
£14.
1495 a meter. Yeah. The larger one, the 900 by 900 is more. I think that's down to you at 1995. But it's a larger format tile. So again, that one's going to be one that probably go where that will suit a sort of large open plan kind of setting. But for the others, it's a really nice, and again, neutral tones. Very sort of very calming, very inoffensive, very neutral. So I think that's a range that could do well. It's a V1 as well. You'll notice there, which won't surprise you. So you can sort of see how the V ratings work. Aspen Wood, which has been a phenomenal range for us. It's wood effect is probably starting around about couple 2-3 years ago now. Wood effect sort of really started filtering into the market, and it's just become such a great trend. Aspen Wood, we've bought in 10 different colors, so it really covers all bases. If I'm being honest with you, we probably sell 80-90% of our sales on this are on 4 colors, which is the beige at the top, the greige, the gris, and the mink is actually the biggest seller. So yeah, that's there's a lot of choice there. It's for that size of tile, because you'll see wood products in the market. There's smaller products out there. There's 600 by 150 sort of wood effect that come in a little bit cheaper, but for a sizable a plank, as I call it, a 1200 by 200 real sort of authentic looking thing, that's a phenomenal price. And I know you'll have sense checked that, Nick,
that's a really good tile and a great price, because I looked to buy them and they were just way above what I wanted to pay for a tile. I wanted to buy them personally, and they were just too expensive to what I wanted to use them for. I was quoted £35, and I went online, but you can't see what the material's like. But these were like from, I won't mention names, but 2 other companies that were selling these. But no, that's a really, really great price. Anthony, we got any questions? Because I saw a couple of questions.
You do. Well, I was saving a couple for the end, but a couple just about this specific tile. So really, what's it made out of? Is it a tile? Is it something else? It looks like a bit.
It's porcelain. It's glazed porcelain. So yeah, it's purely a tile. So it's made out of exactly the same thing as that. Just a glazed just glazed porcelain and then the wood effect is obviously printed on. It's actually got a bit of it's got a bit of texture on the surface as well, so which kind of makes it look a bit more authentic as well. So it's not just kind of like a flat sort of sheen tile or something, So it's glazed porcelain. Yeah. So it's absolutely. I mean, practically, it's some people ask about underfloor heating. Does it work with that? Yes. Well, they're absolutely fine with that. So they go into all sorts of applications. They're just we have them down on floors up and down the country, like underfloor heating, non-underfloor, whatever. They're
I saw Trevor asked a couple of questions. Anthony.
Sure. So Trevor's asked, can we view the full brochure? Yes, we'll have that on the CTD page on LMPG as soon as we go live. Bear in mind, members, we've not actually gone live with CTD yet. I'm sure Chris is going to go into it a little bit later on. We can start putting members through, as it were, but it's kind of under the table at the minute. We've not officially launched the partnership.
But they've set an account up, an LMPG account, so everything will go through one account. You need to ring Steph; she'll give you the price, and you can pay over the phone, and she'll get it delivered to you. But just a quick question, Anthony, is there somewhere easy we can put the brochure so people can look at it, or anywhere?
Well, I can upload it to the website as it stands. It depends on the size of the brochure. Steph's number is going to be at the end of the presentation there, Trevor. I can still upload it. I can have a CTD page.
Just with a brochure and saying, well, it's just...
the rest is to be continued, I guess.
Yes. Well, we'll be on the new website by Wednesday of next week. Yeah.
You've just said you've now announced it, so we can't go past that day.
Well, I'm saying Wednesday, might be Thursday, Friday.
Maria's asked, hi, I need to be able to order tiles this week for my new build. When will your company be on the LMPG website so that I can purchase? Well, as I mentioned, Maria, you don't necessarily need to wait until CTD. Go onto the website. I'll put it on as soon as I've got the content to do so. But we'll get Steph's details at the end here, and I'm sure she'll be more than happy. And of course, CTD have got all the materials for what is and what isn't on the core range and all that sort of nonsense as well.
But can Steph or Chris, can we arrange that we can send a PDF file out to the members by email?
Yeah.
Anthony, you're looking at me strange. You can't do it. It's
no, the file size will be too big to.
Oh, fine. Okay.
Depends if you do you mean to everyone at once or to? I think at the beginning, Nick, if we say people who are interested, if they drop Steph a line and we can send it across to individuals as required. Does that work for you?
That's fine, and as I mentioned, we can host it on the website, and I'm happy to send out a link to the website as well. So a link to it hosted on our website.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because file will be to email the whole file, the brochure over, it'll be too big to send it over. And somebody asked, can we send samples out? Yes, you can, and we'll cover that at the end.
Yeah, so let's proceed with the products, and I'll hit some of these questions later on.
Because you've got 12 minutes. Okay.
Fine, loads of time. So, so the next one that's really worth kind of lingering on for no more than 12 minutes, but for a little bit longer at least, is these two ranges, British stone and vein stone. And what we've done with these is again, it's one of the key trends in the market now, as I know some of you sort of have clocked onto already, is this kind of bringing the outdoors in or the indoors out, or whichever way around you want to put it. But these two ranges are ones where we can create a flow through from sort of living area, internal living areas into external ones, so patios. So what we actually offer is a 10mm indoor tile and then a 20mm outdoor tile for the gardens. So it's porcelain. It's hard wearing. It keeps its colour. I have these in my garden. I have that one in the middle, the dark greige, which I assure you looks lovely. Even when the kids have coloured all over it with chalk and everything, but they will do that. And it's And there's a multitude of different ways to lay it as well. You can lay it like a tile with a flexible adhesive. You can lay it like a slab with just a regular sand and cement base, or you can actually have it on pedestals if you want, which is a little bit more kind of intricate. But yeah, there's a number of ways to lay it, and that's one of the big trends now. So people who are looking to kind of, you know, keep ahead of the market, this is kind of where it's at right now. Don't know if there are any particular questions on that. Obviously, we spoke about the price and the discount rate, 15% off list.
Yeah.
Which if you actually look at the, so if you look at the net prices that pulls through at, it's a really well priced product. So
Ellen has asked what the sizes for the British stone.
600 by 600.
600 by 600.
600 by 600, yeah, for the indoor and outdoor. Yeah, we do have for the internal, we do another size for that. We actually do a 1200 by 600 as well, but we don't put that in here because A, it's a bit more niche, and B, it obviously negates that flow through effect if you're using a different size tile inside to outside. So yeah,
if they're the same size, Chris, what's the difference between your indoor tile and your outdoor tile?
Sorry, 600 by 600 is the size, as in the actual the length and width. The actual thickness is 20 mil on the outdoor.
Oh, it's the depth that changes.
Because it's thicker, it's harder wearing. Yes.
So, although that's a good question, actually, because Maria's asked a similar question. Is the thickness of the tile related to durability?
Yeah, I mean it's harder wearing for it to being thicker. Yeah, so it can take sort of heavier traffic. But yeah, it's basically that really. But it's, you know, you can. It's a bit of a funny one because you can technically use. And I'm going to open up a can of worms here, but I'm not sort of recommending it. But you can actually use sort of 10 mil tiles outdoors on a particular bed. But it's all about the prep work's got to be right. Everything's got to be right. So it's, you know, it's not sort of,
because when you glue, when you fix tile to adhesive and you lay it like cement, that cement becomes the tile. Now, if there's movement in that and you don't lay it correctly or put a sub base in correctly, and that tile moves, you will get cracking. So everything's about the preparation.
Yeah.
When you lay the tiles, it's like anything.
Yeah.
Prep
Yeah.
work.
So and then that's the beauty of the outdoor, because it is that, you know, it is that much thicker. You can just lay it like a slab, which is exactly what I've got in my garden. Hardcore, whack a plate down, sand cement base, prime the back of the tile. So that's one of the differences. There's a slurry primer that goes on the back of the tile, which we also supply and use and supply as well, to be honest. And then just stick it down and jobs are good and like so yeah, that's good. So it's a good it's a good range. Moving on, just look at some of the other floors. This is more probably a little bit weird and wonderful, but I wanted to reassure people that we don't just have greys and whites and creams. There is some funky stuff as well. So these have kind of come into fashion as well in the last couple of years, and they look lovely in the right areas. You know, they're not suitable for every sort of, you know, every room or every kind of decor, but yeah, you've got in caustic, you've got a different kind of different kind of patterns you can play around with. We've got another range of these as well, which I've not included in here, but it'll be available to you in the brochure, and contrast a bit of a richer sort of colour. And you can see they've got a bit creative there with the sort of chessboard effect and everything. So that's, if you've got the right property, and you know, it's certainly
herringbone kind of patterns.
Yeah. Herringbone, yeah, you've got, well, we're on that kind of leads us very nicely onto the next bit. So, and again, we this is another trend that's kind of went away for a few years, and now it's kind of ridden back with a vengeance. So a lot of people are now looking towards whereas people in kitchens for the longest time would just go with upstands for splashbacks. Now people are sort of bringing tiles back into the kitchens, sort of WCs, getting creative with these long, thin tiles as well. There's a couple of other ranges that I've taken out, but I like it because it gives a chance to introduce some colour back into things as well. Herringbone is very popular as a lay-in style at the moment. Tilers cannot wait for this trend to pass because I think they're just waiting for the day when people just want to just fix square regular tiles, all one colour. But no, you can get a bit creative with these and have some fun. So if they're, like I say, in the right rooms, they could really kind of just add a bit of extra punch. But I say if you do try and do a 30-40 meter bathroom wall in Herringbone, your tiler will not be your best friend, I can assure you. But it's that's how it is. So no, that's kind of a whistle stop tour of the range, which I dare say has more or less brought us back to the terminus just in time.
We got loads of questions.
Yeah, we've got thousands. So yeah, I would just keep this slide up for a while because I'm sure Steph's going to have to field the ones that we can't manage today.
Is Steph about tomorrow? She's not on holiday tomorrow.
Yes, I'm in tomorrow all day. So
good.
Yeah.
Don't take any other calls because you're going to get some tomorrow.
No problem. Not a problem at all.
Okay, so yeah, let's hit some of these questions then. Richard asked, how do we know what tiles are in the core price bracket when shopping? I think the answer to that's probably the brochure. Although Steph, I'm looking at you very hopefully that you'll have an understanding yourself as well, because members are obviously filtering through to you.
Yeah, I'll know. I know which one's on the core and things like that. Yeah, I'll have it all.
Yeah, that's it. Because you're right. If you go into a showroom, it's obviously for obvious reasons, it won't be signposted sort of in the showroom. But yeah, that's why again, just speak to the contracts office and Steph for inquiries.
We do get the 37.5% off. If they get a tile and they get the name, they go, I like that one. They ring Steph. They'll be able to get a price from Steph. Yes.
Yeah.
On anything. Yeah, anything.
Yeah.
Good.
Nick brought up samples earlier on. Is it possible to order samples from yourselves?
Yeah, it is. There's a couple of ways of doing it. So we have a we have a sample service where you can order up to 2 a day, and it's actually accessible via our website, or you can speak to Steph and she can arrange it. But they'll send you out a 10x10, 2 10x10 chips sort of in the post direct to you. If you want to see full tile samples, again, speak to the office. We can arrange it to go to a local branch to collect. They book them out. They charge them at the time, and then they just refund it when they bring them back. So that's all it is.
I think you've hit a good point there, and that's one of the major advantages that we've got with CTD that we don't currently have, and that we didn't have even with BCT, who are really fantastic with us. Is the fact that you've got that branch network and you can go in and you can physically see the tiles, you can pick them up, you can feel the texture, feel the weight of it in your hands. It was such a common sort of question a few years ago, and we sort of had to grin and bear it a little bit. But
it's so important with tiles, because it's even then looking through the brochure, it's great, but most people are probably thinking if I want to actually, before I order something and put it on my wall, I want to have actually touched it. And it's that kind of product, it's you want to, people want to touch it, people want to feel it, and use the branch network. That's
one of the other things that's just come up was this is where me and Chris we negotiated hard. Now we don't want people just ordering like a few tiles. The minimum order, and this is be the price for 6 months, and then me and Chris will sit down, because I don't want to be losing money on this. Is that for minimum order, it's just £50. That's for tiles. For DSIF and that, we're going to keep it there, but that might have to move if people just order a DSIF, because they give great discounts out on the DSIFs. There's not the margin to claw that back, so we're going to hold it at £50. and me and Chris will review it in 6 months' time. So it's
Just to
£50.
clarify there, Nick, you're talking about minimum order value for free delivery.
Yes, yeah, it's £50 for free delivery. Okay, and that's what Chris and I have negotiated on. Trust me, he didn't want to do 50 quid. So yeah,
it's a good point. It's something we to be our normal minimum order value is a lot higher than that. So I think, like Nick said, all we try and avoid is a situation where we're sort of potentially delivering out a bag of grout or a couple of bags of adhesive and everything. So we say £50 of tiles qualifies for free delivery. Now, I'd say if somebody does need a box of 6-inch tiles or something to finish off, and they're not going to make up the £50. Again, the branch network is your friend here, because we deliver on our internal transport into the branches several times a week. So if it is an issue, and there is always that odd box people need, then I'd my suggestion would be have it dropped into the branch, and then just grab it from there, and then you just that just gets around everything. So it's again the branch network's there to be used and abused, really.
Maria's asked, what guarantees do you provide?
In terms of in terms of what? In terms of
warranties on the tiles.
Warranties on the tiles themselves, I'd have to, honestly, off the top of my head, I'm not sure sort of what's in place for that. It's not something we've been asked, really. I suppose it's difficult because there's so much in if there are issues with a job, it could it first, I suppose, has to be determined whether it's an installation issue or a tile issue. The tiles all have paperwork. All the ranges have paperwork sort of accompanying them, which can be obtained, which attests to all their credentials on a number of tests. So slip rating, for example, weight bearing strength, the free of sort of blemishes and defects and all things like that. So that is whether that would sort of qualify as a guarantee. We could obtain those.
I've never even thought about guarantees on tiles before. I don't think there really is. If you've laid them and they're all perfect, Now, if they wear out, off a wall, I would struggle answering that question. I wouldn't know.
It's a difficult one because I get as part of my job, I get calls for customer care, and this, we've had an issue with this tile, or we've had an issue with this, and I'll be perfectly honest, the vast majority of them are installation issues. For obvious reasons, you would expect when you consider the environment that tiles are produced in, and how controlled it is, and in the factories, and then contrast that with the environment in which they're installed, which is very often sort of a man with a bucket, and sloughing grout and adhesive everywhere. It's there's a lot more potential for problems, but we do.
Difference between us, B&Q, Wix's, and all the others, would it? No, so it'd be exactly the same. Yeah,
okay. But all the tiles have they have the credentials and everything. There's certain things they have to hit on. I'd have to get one up to see exactly what they measure, because they measure everything. Like reflective values for people with
okay,
things like that.
Got that. So, she's sticking the thumb up at me. Move on.
All right. Would you notice a different texture of tiles if you're using ceramics on the wall and porcelain on the floor, even if it's the same pattern or same color?
Depends on the range. Sometimes it depends, really. Yeah, one thing I would say with ceramic and porcelain is it's obviously, even though the range is there's matching floors and walls, it's cut from the ceramic, and the porcelain tiles themselves are cut from a different cake, as it were. So there may be a slight, maybe, and all I mentioned that for is shading, really. So if there may be a slight sort of slight shade.
All you need to do is go into a store, look at the tile, porcelain, against the.
Have a look for yourself. Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really depends on the tile.
Another question here: what finish of porcelain do I need for the bathroom tiles?
It depends. Is it a wet room? So is it? It depends really.
Sorry, go on. We've only got a couple more minutes, so I'm going to suggest then that specific question might be better asked on order. Look, I hate to rush you, Chris, but I'm gonna throw it over to Nick to do a little bit of an outro. Thanks so much for.
No, honestly, thank you so much. Yeah, and don't forget, this was just a real introduction into CTD. I can never get that D out. Yes, CTD. Yeah, and I think it's exciting. This is our first step. It will be on social media. Trust me, Steph. Just look after the members, please.
I will do.
Okay, and again, it's about, this is brand new to us. I want to get it where we got BCT. Yes, because that was good. That was really working well. And this is a great opportunity for us to get to the levels of spend, but also it's helping members out as well. Because I don't know what they're buying. They're buying them somewhere, because we do over 2,000 kitchens. Yeah, probably 3,000 now with the amount we're spending a year. And last 2 months, we did over 100,000 a month on bathroom suites, just under. One was £200 under 100,000, one was 130. So they are buying tiles, and our offering at the moment has not been the best. So I would like to say, Chris and Steph, thank you for stepping up. And I will thank Luke and all the other people that helped this deal being put together. I'm really excited about this, and I really am. So it will be a slow burn, because people are going to go, oh, because you've got to change habits. You've got to change them from where they're buying it to introduce a new lot. Yeah, and I will apologise, Steph, you are going to get loads of questions chucked at you. Yeah, you really will do for members. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about this. I think it's another niche that we can supply and put in and really do really well. So I'm really, really proud to invite you onto our platform, LMPG's contract division platform, and I'm really excited. So that's what I've got to say.
Looking forward to the launch.
Yeah, I really am. And we're going to do that as quickly as possible. Now, you are going to notice a couple of things changing. There's an awful lot happening we haven't told you yet. One of them is our website. And hopefully we've got a brand new back office. All the staff are testing it, and we have polished up our what we call our facing part of the website, the members seeing. Now, me and Anthony are still not happy with that. So once that's been done, over the next year, we're going to be investing in creating a brand new website. Am I correct in saying that, Anthony?
Well, I'm not happy with it. I think it's a great improvement. I designed it. I think it's great. Yes, there's more room to do, but not.
Oh, that rope's getting tight around your neck.
Unbelievable.
It's good. It is good. It is good. It's 10 times better than the crap one I got now. Yes, and that's diabolical if you want the truth, but it's really good what you've done. Yes, so I'm really, really pleased with that. And I am pleased with what you've done.
Right, Nick, let's talk about what we got next week, and then we need to go away.
Okay, what we got?
We've got Merlin, whom we launched relatively recently.
Yes.
Are the UK and Ireland's biggest shower enclosure thing. They're the really sexy shower enclosures that you'll see in the country up and down in every showroom window. And we've also got Be Modern. Do you remember Steve Gent from last week? He's back on, but he's got a different hat on.
He's launching the bathroom furniture, isn't he?
He's pre-launching bathroom furniture, yeah.
Yes. Pre-launch.
So, yeah, exciting. A lot of new stuff to get through next week as well. Until then, thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much, Stephanie, and everyone that's joined us. And we'll see.
Somebody wants to watch football because he's trying to get me off. Yeah, we can sit here and talk for 5 minutes if you want.
See you later, everyone. Cheers.
Yeah, any more questions?
What do you mean? I'm going off peeing to do a presentation now. It's all right for some.
Enjoy that.
Anyway, lovely. Everybody, have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Cheers.
Chris,
Bye.
we'll give you a call tomorrow.
Thank you.
I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Ta-ra.